Subi's character develops through his imagination and what he sees throughout the story. So based on the journey that he goes on, the people that he meets in the detention center and their interactions with them, and it's how he reacts to certain traumatic events, and also it's what he dreams of. And I feel like as the play goes on and as the story develops, Subi undergoes different trials and tribulations and challenges that kind of test his pre-adolescence in a way, and kind of allows him to mature. I think it's a story of how Subi matures and becomes a young man. Subi undergoes a lot of inner turmoil in terms of doing the right thing, and based on everything that he sees, he has a choice of either shutting himself away from it or maybe expressing himself. And I feel like as we go on in the play, Subi finds that his decisions to tell the truth and speak the truth become more clearer, and it's based on how he does it out of his own volition, and how he does it based on his own choice and not from his older sister Queenie or any of his friends Eli. He does it from his own choice, and he wants to be firm in his decision. And I feel like we reach there in the end with Subi. A lot of the work was script based, and reading the script, uniting and understanding what each scene is trying to tell, what each scene is trying to say and convey. But when you're in the midst of it on stage, I feel like being open and being very live and in the moment and responsive and reacting to everything that happens. I think a rule of thumb would be almost kind of forget everything that you've kind of studied and learned about the play and just be in the moment, because anything can happen on stage. Your fellow colleague could forget a line, or anything can happen. And I think that does help with Subi, because it's very similar to his character. He's very responsive to all the stimuli around him, whether it be the floor or the paper or the drawings, or from the very beginning of the play. You'll see Subi reacting to everything that he sees, whether that be a bird in the sky or it could be anything, and that kind of projects in his imagination. So I feel like being very open to any suggestion that you get on stage, whether that's been rehearsed or whether that's something completely improvised and new, always keeping a fresh perspective when entering this realm of theatre, I think is key. And I think it will help you, because that's what I think that's what we're looking at. We're just looking at a whole bunch of reactions live on stage. I'd say the relationship between Subi and Eli is, that of two brothers, or if anything, someone would say they're best friends. But I think Subi treats Eli and Eli treats Subi as, their right hand. That's their right hand man, and that's the guy that Subi is the guy that Eli can, almost escape from this world with, and Subi kind of sees Eli as the older brother who's always got his back and can always support him. And yeah, they're just like glue. They're just together. And Eli is almost like Subi's eyes and ears, and sees everything that's going on, and kind of is like a safety blanket for Subi, and keeps him warm and keeps him safe. And they've got like such a strong bond together. And I feel like that's shown through just how much, I think, even on stage we get kind of carried away with our love for each other, because Eli would give me a kiss when he's saying goodbye, or something. I think it's very intimate. It's very intimate between Subi and Eli. Very intimate and very, very special. What they have is very special, and I feel like as the play goes on, it just keeps getting stronger and stronger, and the love that they have for each other is so strong. Subi, Queenie, and Ma. I feel like it's very similar to any other like brother sister sibling relationship, and that with the parent. I feel like it's not dissimilar in any way to anyone else. It's almost quite nuclear, and it's very it's yeah, it's just, you know, Subi and Queenie have like almost like a love-hate relationship, and Subi always, you know, wants to find comfort in Ma, and especially in the play, is you know, Queenie is someone that Subi can have difficulties with. And I can say personally that I have difficulties with my siblings as well, and I feel like I can resonate with that so much. I feel like if you do have siblings, definitely use that experience with when looking into Subi and Queenie, because it's very similar. And yeah, I feel like together it's just that family unit, and just that the kind of special bond and connection that they have with each other. I feel like, yeah, it's unbreakable. And you can see how much they go through and how much trauma that they face during the show and in the story. Yet I feel like family is their home, no matter where they've been displaced. I think the one thing that sticks together is family, and I think family to them is home. I'd say in terms of accent work, Pilot Theatre provided us an accent coach, which was so generous and so helpful actually. I personally like doing a lot of accents and stuff, and you think you've got an accent, but then when you're faced with an accent coach, you realise, oh, I mean, it's quite a humbling experience, but you do. I have learnt a lot. A lot of the Australian accent I got from a show on Netflix called The Investigators, which is an Australian show about kids who solve mysteries and stuff. And I don't personally watch that. It's my little sister, but I see my little sister watch it, and I'm like, oh wow. And then when I got the job for Subi, when I got the role, I realised it's quite similar age, and they've got quite. It's more enunciated and more. Yeah, I think the accent is just. I have to like almost eat every single word and just like open my mouth more, especially on stage. And I feel like in terms of physicality, you know, I'm much older than Suvi is, but I feel like I still got that youthfulness and playfulness, and I do like to just moving about, but also having an energy and stillness as well. I feel like you don't always have to just move about and be frantic. You can be very grounded and still feel like moving a lot, but in thought. I feel like, and I feel like just keeping the energy of someone who's itching to tell a story all the time is key, and doing that by just by just feeling really energized. I think having a lot of energies is good for Subi.